With our XML loaded and our user interface set up, we'll connect our combo box to our text field so that when you change a value in the combo box, the text field will update with the appropriate description. Scroll down in your code right below where we create the new combo box. So combo equals new jcombo box. On the next line, we're going to add something called an action listener. This listens for an action, which is, for example, when a user changes a combo box. So type combo.addActionListener, and then the value that you pass in needs to be an action listener. Remember that this class implements action listener, so I can actually pass in this. So make sure to add a semicolon to close out the statement. And just scroll down and find the action performed method. So when the combo box is changed, this method receives an action event which is held in the parameter e, which we can use to access information about the event. Keep in mind that this same handler can be used for all different types of events. So it's kind of a generic event handler. So inside of this method, the first thing we're going to do is capture the selected index of the combo box. So create an int called I, and we'll set it equal to combo.getSelectedIndex. And that will return the selected index, which is 0 based. So go down a few lines, and all we're going to do is just set the value of the text fields. So the first one is text area, which is the main big text area. So type text area, capital A, dot set text. Here we just need to pass in a string of the text. And we can get that string from our descriptions array list. So if your array list is declared as having only a certain data type, for example, string here, we don't have to typecast it to a string. So in set text, we'll type descriptions.get, and then we pass in I. So we get item I from the descriptions array list, and that's it. Let's just save and test at this point to make sure that that's working, and then we'll move forward and update the length and price labels. And so now we'll save the file, and actually before I can test it, I'm going to need to open the main class file. So I'm going to double click the View tab and open up App Main, and then with App Main selected, I'll click to run the app. Again, make sure that your servers are running. And so now I see the combo box and the appropriate text in the text field. And every time I change the value in the combo box, I should see the text update. You'll notice one thing, that the scroll bar doesn't scroll back up to the top, so we'll look at how to fix that in just a second. But everything else seems to be working just fine. So we just need to update the price and length labels and fix that scroll bar issue. So I'll quit the app and return to view.java. What I'm going to do is just copy this line twice, so the text area line. So copy, Command or Control C, and then go to the next line and paste with Command or Control V. And then I'll change text area in the first pasted code to price label, capital L. And then the text area in the second block of code to length label. And then for the price label, we'll change descriptions to prices. And then before that, we're going to put a string and then concatenate it with a plus sign. So inside of that string, type price, colon, and then a space and a $sign. Now I'll do the same thing for length. So change descriptions to lengths. And then the string before that, make sure to add the plus sign to concatenate. And then in the string, length, colon, and a space. And then I'm going to add miles after we grab the value from the XML. So concatenate another string on the end of that, so plus and then some quotes. And inside of the quotes, miles. So you should be able to save and test this again if you'd like and just see the price and the length label update. Before I test it, I'm just going to fix that issue with the scroll bar where it doesn't move all the way to the top every time. Now you can actually just set the scroll bar's position with one line of code. However, it won't work because you need to execute the code after the Swing framework has handled the user interface updating thread. So to do that, we're going to type javax.swing.S for swing utilities .invoke later. And in the parentheses, we're going to create a new object here. So new space runnable. And then after that last close parenthesis, I'm going to add a semicolon. And before the last close parenthesis, I'm going to go down a few lines. And we're actually going to define the run method inside of this method call for invoke later. So I'm defining this class right here. The open bracket right after the parentheses for new runnable, and the close bracket right before the close parenthesis of invoke later. And inside here, I need to define the run method. So public void run, and parentheses, and some brackets. And inside the run method, I can then update the scroll bar. So text scroller dot get vertical scroll bar dot set value, and then pass in 0. Make sure to close out the statement with a semicolon. And what we're doing here is we're setting the position of the scroll bar to 0, which makes it go all the way to the top. We're doing it this way because we have to run it after the thread is completed that updates the user interface, or else the update will not show. So save, and then go to appmain.java and test this. And you should see that everything works. So I see the price and the length are updated. I can change that. And every time I change the combo box, everything is updated. I could scroll down and scroll up and look at the text in the combo box. And the only thing that we could improve upon here is put a space between the number of the length and the word miles. So let's just quit our app, return to our code, and put a space right before miles in that string. Save, and then we'll test again. And we should see now there's a space between miles. The combo box updates the text field, the price and length labels. You could update by changing the combo box, and you'll see that the scroll bar is moved all the way back to the top. So remember, you can handle events using the add action listener method. So we apply that to the combo box. You handle it in a class that implements action listener in a method called action performed. In the action performed method, you can handle the event and get specific data about the event through the action event object. If you want to update a scroll bar in a swing elements text field, then you need to make sure that you use invoke later so that there won't be any conflicts when you update the scroll bar.